All right. Today, I want to welcome everybody to the Power of Our Story. And we have a special guest on today. It's Tammy Oluvic, and she is the CEO and co-founder of Saddles in Service. I'd like to read their mission statement. I love what they do. So she says, our mission is to combat the suicide rate of veterans, active duty military, and first responders by promoting mental health, wellness, and healing to these heroes and their families through equine assisted learning and activities. Their core values are integrity, respect, empathy, love, compassion, and learning. Their passion statement is to embrace all humans and horses that walk through our gate as family with respect and compassion, to encourage all of our volunteers and heroes to continue learning about themselves, others, and horsemanship, to lift one another up and not break anyone down. We are here to support each human and horse in their journey to become the best version of themselves, living a life of purpose and freedom. Saddles in Service was founded in 2016 by retired Navy veteran Mike Oluvic and his wife, Tammy. So Tammy, I want to welcome you. Thank you so much for coming on the Power of Our Story.
Thank you for having me. And thank you to everyone here. So many of you, thank you for your service. It's amazing. And, I'm dealing with, I don't know if I have COVID or not, but I'm at the tail end of it. I'm hoping. I feel like I have razor blades in my throat, but, my husband's down with it as well. So Happy New Year. I guess that's all I can say. But thank you. Just thank you. I love what you do, Sarah. I love this group. It's amazing. I'm so happy that we found each other. This is wonderful. So, excuse me. So I'll tell you a little bit about why we started Saddles in Service. My husband he was 25 years in the Navy. He worked with the Special Operations Unit. He was an intel officer. And so some of the things he did, he would go in before they would send in teams. And so somewhere along the line, he developed post-traumatic stress, anxiety, depression, agoraphobia. I told him that he has everything in the DSM-5, I believe, but he doesn't think it's funny, but I do, because I'm just joking with him. But when he retired and we're here in San Diego, we found a little horse ranch and we purchased it. And I had found out all these horses had been confiscated from a ranch in San Diego. So I adopted two, and I brought him in the day before his retirement ceremony. And we had over 100 people coming here from all over the world. And he was like, "You're bringing horses the day before my retirement? How is that going to mess it all up?" And I'm like, "No, they're just going to be the spotlight." So everyone loved it. The horses loved it. And when I saw how horses changed him, I was like, "Oh, you know what? I think we need to do something here with these horses." And so I felt rescuing the horses and helping rehabilitate them and giving them another purpose was also just an amazing thing. And so that's how we started. We started bringing in these rescued horses. We started bringing in veterans to help us. Because when we first started, it was sort of like, okay, let's see, are we ready? When are we going to be ready to start bringing people in? And so we had a friend of ours call in tears saying, "Can you please help my brother? Like, Tammy, he needs help now." And I explained we weren't ready. I go, but yes, let's have him come out. We'll just bring him in. And he showed up, and my husband, being his fun self at the time, said, I hope you told him we're not ready. I go, I did. We're just going to show him around. So, lo and behold, Mike helps him. Mike takes him in the round pen to show him how we work with a horse and how we do a join up. Well, as the two of them were in there with the horse, they start talking about, some of the same places they had been in Afghanistan. And you could see that camaraderie was instant, right? Mike's Navy, Joe was Army, but yet, obviously there's that camaraderie and that brotherhood. And I almost start crying watching it. They don't realize what's going on, but, I could see it. And when they were done, Mike looked at Joe and said, hey, we're not ready, but do you want to help us get ready? And Joe was like, yes, I'm all in. And so that was our very first veteran. And he lived on our property actually for about 2.5 years. He now has a great job. He got a certificate in the large equipment. I know I'm saying it wrong, but he runs big equipment, and he's doing great. He totally has purpose now. He has his own horse, and his horse stays here with us, and we use that horse for the program, but Joe comes out and rides, and it's just been great watching that. And so through that, we learned a lot about what these horses do for our veterans and first responders. And I know we'll have time for questions later. And because I'm sure I'm going to miss stuff because there's so much to say about horses. But I also want to tell you, we serve first responders. Our son is a Chula Vista police officer. Our daughter-in-law is an ICU nurse at Sharp Grossmont. And our younger son is in the hiring process for the fire department. And so for us, it was always, we wanted to serve first responders as well as veterans in active duty, because they all are heroes, and you all are giving service to our communities and our nation. And so bringing everyone together, that camaraderie is so wonderful to see. So we started with one veteran. We now serve anywhere from 30 to 50 a week. And usually they come every week or every other week, or, depending on their schedule, especially our guys in fire, their schedules vary. So we just work with them on their schedule. Our program there's no cost to our program. Wait, there's a little question there. So I was just going to see. Yes, this is Mike's. We're in Michael Geyer's documentary. That's our ranch on there. And so I thought it had to do with Michael Geyer. So that's why I decided to look at that. So our program's free of charge. Usually it's approximately 2 hours. Someone would come out here, and we really meet every single individual where they're at, because everyone comes with different experience, different goals. And usually when someone comes out and says they don't want to learn how to ride, they just want to learn how to work with the horse, I always say, okay, I'll ask you in a couple weeks. And, it's always, oh, I'm ready to ride. I want to ride now. I love being with this horse. So we have 7 phases to our program. And we really focus first on the predator-prey relationship with the horse. Because, with, Ryan has a phobia of horses, but I'll tell you, I have a lot of people that come out that are really afraid of horses. And once you have a horse snuggle with you, you have this, 1,200 pound, or if you have Dylan, he's 2,000 pounds, when you have a horse join up with you and act like a little puppy dog and wants to follow you, I tell you, they really show you that they can be trusted and they want you to be their leader and their partner. And it's amazing, the bond that grows with a horse. So we do have people who've been afraid of horses and now they're out there, riding and showing other people how to ride. So, but we teach you how, herd mentality, right? They're pack animals. They need a leader. And so really when you're in there working with your horse, you need to be a leader for that horse. I see it as almost like a parent-child relationship with a horse, right? And there are times you need to be more assertive, and then there are times you need to be more gentle. You never have to be aggressive, but sometimes assertive. And for some of our heroes, that's hard for them to be more assertive. They're so meek. And so they really learn about themselves when they have to step out of that box and be a leader. And so we teach them how to groom your horse, how to properly lead your horse. And then we put you in a round pen with the horse and you learn how to develop that relationship and respect, because you want to respect the horse and you want the horse to respect you. And so it's a lot of nonverbal communication. So you're really having to watch the horse and watch for cues from the horse that they're ready to join up with you, that they are 100% in. And when that happens and you just kind of drop anything that's in your hands, because we have these little flags that we use when we're doing the round pen work, and that horse comes up to you and joins up with you and follows you wherever you go, it's people break down in tears and just grab that horse by the neck and start crying. And it's like having a pocket pony, and it's the cutest pocket pony that wants to just get in your back pocket and follow you. And it really is truly beautiful and just magical when you see it happen. And so once we do that, we teach everyone to ride bareback, because I feel it's super important to just understand when you're on the horse, you can really feel their movement and get your balance. Now, we lead you. We don't make you just get on bareback and take off and ride. We're leading the horse and we're helping you just really find your balance and become one with that horse. And then some people want to learn how to trot and canter bareback. Like, I'm like, oh, if you want to do it, go for it. I don't, but that's all fine. So we will. And then we'll teach someone how to properly saddle and bridle their horse. And we teach them everything from, the parts of the saddle. And then we'll teach them how to ride with the saddle. Walk, trot, canter. We teach in a small round pen and then our large arena. And then we do trails and we learn to ride trails here on the property. And then we go off property and ride trails. And we've just added cattle. So if someone wants to learn how to sort cattle, Monday nights we go over to a ranch here in Descanso. We trailer our horses over and we do cattle sorting. And that has been so much fun. And that leads us to the final phase of our program. We just started a Wyoming Cowboy experience. We run it this year. I think we'll run it for 6 months, and it's all expenses. We pay for everything. We send 2 heroes at a time they fly into Cody, and we have our general manager up there is in Shell, Wyoming. You stay for a week. And it's not easy, I'll tell you. That's why our program prepares everyone for this, because you are riding for 7 hours, possibly in a day. You're in the Bighorn Mountains. You're moving cattle. And if you're there at the right time, you get to help with the vaccinating, castrating, and branding of the calves when they, during calving season. But it's hardcore. It's not city slickers at all. And then at nighttime, the neighbor, he has a beautiful leather shop. He's a leather craftsman, I believe they call him. And so at nighttime, you're making your own chaps or belt or whatever it may be. And so at nighttime, we're doing that. And during the day, you're riding horses. And everyone who has come back has just, it changed their lives. And it was once in a lifetime. But then it is hard to ride the trails here after you've experienced the trails up there in Wyoming. And so we also opened a site in Texas that opens officially next month. And so our Texas site will mirror our San Diego site. And so the Wyoming is just a really special site and a special experience. So one of the things that has come out of working with these horses, and as I've watched our veterans grow and our first responders grow, is that so, okay, for instance, one day I was out riding my horse. I had the calmest horse. He was the sweetest horse. And unfortunately, he has passed away. But one day we were out riding and this little butterfly flew by. And you would have thought Satan himself had just jumped in front of us. And it was like, what the heck? It was a butterfly. Well, there had been a couple incidences before that, and I should have addressed them, and I didn't. And so, in this horse riding magazine, I was reading about the law of diminishing anxiety and the cup of worry. And with a horse, if it wasn't the butterfly that did it. It was just that his little cup of worry had overfilled at that point. And so he was nervous about getting in the trailer. Well, once I got him in the trailer, I should have spent a little more time to take out that anxiety that had just poured in that cup instead of letting it sit in there. When we were walking up to the trailer, one of the other horses bit him in the butt. And he was all freaked out. Well, I should have taken some time to get his attention back on me and emptied out some of that anxiety that had just filled in his cup. So when we talk to our heroes going through our program about this, they really pay attention to the horse and watch these little bitty things that maybe we don't recognize, and to help their horses through that. And so we can also think about that in our own lives. Sometimes we blow up at someone, not really because of that person, but because our cup is already overfilled with little events throughout the day or throughout the week that all of a sudden that cup has now spilled over. And so, we've been really working with our heroes on recognizing that, not just in their horse, but in themselves. And we had, I have a couple EOD guys out here that are going through our program. And one of them, his anxiety was just, oh my goodness, it was off the charts. I've never seen anything like it. And so when he first started coming out, I decided to place him with the horse that had the highest anxiety. And at first everyone was like, oh my gosh, no, put him with Dylan. Dylan is going to help him. And I thought about it, and I thought, Dylan's not going to teach him anything. There will be no teachable moments. He needs to be with Barbie. That's how he's going to be able to learn. And so I put him with Barbie. So now we have two anxiety-driven beings here. And he had to step out of his anxiety to keep her safe and to help her when she was frightened over something. He would take her up to it and say, wait, you're scared of this? Look at this, is nothing. Look at this, I'm touching it, it's fine. And he would feel so free when he was here. He was free of that anxiety because he became vulnerable and gave it up in order to help the horse. And so, the hope is always the more they experience those moments and how it felt, we hope that that can translate into their everyday life and they can find that and they can step out of it. And so, the horses are just amazing beings. I will tell you, I have so much I can say, but I know there's never enough time. But what we find when our heroes have worked with the horses, and we do all this, I forgot to mention, it's all one-on-one. So it's the hero, the horse, and a wrangler. Because I feel it's best them working one-on-one. We do have groups come out as well. But even when the groups are here, we start out as a group and then they go off with their horse and their wrangler, and then we'll come back together as a group. But I really feel they need one-on-one work when you're working with a horse. But what they're saying after they've worked with the horses is how, they feel connected again. And if any of you saw Michael Geyer's documentary, one of our police officers, a few of them have said, in there, they felt connected again. And, they have renewed purpose, hope, joy, confidence. And, this doesn't just affect the hero going through the program, it spills over then into their family life, and it helps them build a better family life, which then can spill over into their work life and their communities. And I just feel it just continues to spill over and can, strengthen our communities when you really look at the bigger picture. And so let's see. I was on an interview last night on a podcast, and he made a comment to me that it really stuck. Since we've added this Wyoming program, and our heroes know they need to get to a certain level to be sent to the Wyoming program, it's given them a new mission, right? Their mission is to prepare for this Wyoming experience. And you see these guys and girls just embracing everything. Okay, what do I need to learn? I'm ready. Let's get started. Can I practice this today? And we also find with our veterans and first responders that are going through our program, they also come on off days just to do volunteer work and get more time with the horses and help their brothers and sisters who are going through the program. And so that's pretty cool as well. They do not learn how to do farrier work. I just saw that question. We have some horses that have some real special needs in terms of their hoof care. And so for those of you who don't know, a farrier is the one who gives them their pedicures, I would like to say, does all their hoof care. And so we're really, I'll take that back. The farrier does show them that when they're cleaning out the hooves, it does not hurt the horse. And so, he's he's trying to help them understand how to clean the hooves properly. And he's going to do a clinic actually. So we have our veterinarian. He's going to be doing a clinic here soon on first aid, just basic first aid. And yes, and our veterinarian also does their teeth. And that's quite a thing when you see them do their teeth, because it's so archaic. They put this big, huge metal thing in their mouth, and it's like, looks like a torture device from the Middle Ages. It's crazy, but it's pretty cool to watch them do the teeth. And so we do have people who can or who are wanting to learn more and more about different aspects of taking care of the horse, because there is a lot to it. We are going to be adding a holistic approach to, body, mind, and soul as well to our program this year, because I'm finding more of our guys need to be more flexible body-wise. And so we're going to start offering some yoga, some other things to help with flexibility. We also want to do a nutrition piece to it, and mindfulness meditation. So we're working on a whole additional program this year. So it's a whole holistic approach to ourselves and to make us better for our horses as well. And we have recently went to meet 2 Border Patrol horses who will be retiring. One of them needs surgery, and that is why he's retiring. He is the favorite amongst the agents, which it's a shame that this horse has to leave service with the Border Patrol. Both of them are Mustangs. If I didn't say that, they're Mustangs. The funding is being cut, and so these horses, they're cutting down the herd, and so we're going to be paying for the horse's surgery. Our veterinarian is their veterinarian as well, and so he knows these horses. He's been working with them since the day they had these horses, and in his mind, once this horse has the surgery, he's gonna just serve such a great purpose here at Saddles and Service. And so we love it, because here they are retiring from their work as a Border Patrol agent, and their new mission will be to help heal our veterans and first responders. And our veterans and first responders are quite excited that we're having Mustangs here, because that's a whole other piece, right? And so they'll be here. I'm not sure how long it takes for the retiring process, but once the retirement paperwork's here, they will be delivered, and then one of them will be going straight in for the surgery. But it's just adds a whole new level. And we do want to also, a long-term goal is to adopt the Mustangs from the BLM and the Bureau of Land Management. And we will have a program to start gentling the Mustangs as well. And it's just another way too to help in the rescue, because if the horses aren't adopted, some are euthanized. And it's a Mustang, and it's like, that's the American West, and just, I don't know, having a Mustang has been a dream of mine. And so we're truly excited about that piece of our program going forward. So I think I've spoken a lot, and I'm sure there's more I could tell you, but
Tammy, this is amazing. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm sure I can speak for the rest of us here. It's phenomenal what you're doing. It's so exciting. And you must have had prior experience if you love horses and could see the connection in this also. Did you have any prior experience with horses?
Yes, so I did grow up with horses. I used to ride actually English. So in high school, I competed in English dressage. Yes, it is a nonprofit. Yeah, I competed in English dressage. So some of the Western riding is, I still kind of do weird stuff. So I'm still adapting back to writing Western completely and not English.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm just amazing. Of course, I right away thought of City Slickers, but you're saying like the Wyoming cattle experience is even more intense than City Slickers.
Yes, yes. We have pictures on our website too of it, and like on our Facebook and our Instagram. Oh my gosh, some of the writing they did, I was like, holy smokes, I may have had a panic attack. So,
Wow. That's probably like every man's dream, isn't it? To do something like that, to get that kind of experience, to be able to do that.
oh, and Terry does barrels. So that's the other thing. We have barrels, so we do teach them. We mess around in the arena and do barrels and pole bending, and we're building a confidence course or a cowboy challenge as well. And so it's something you would lead your horse through first, and then you'll ride your horse through it. But and yes, we're a nonprofit. We're a 501c3. 98 cents of every dollar donated goes directly into our program. We have no executive salaries. I'm not paid, no board salaries. We have one employee. She is a horse trainer. She trains the horses. She helps develop the heroes and their skills. She is amazing. And you can donate online right on our website, and it's saddlesandservice.org. So you can donate online or by check. You can mail check to our PO box, and it's all on our website. But we are, when I started this foundation, I didn't realize, oh, shoot, I have instant overhead, with horses. Our fee bill alone is over $3,200 a month, and our farrier bills are $1,800 every 6 weeks. That's just for their hooves. So, and then you have vaccinations and you have everything else and the veterinary costs and so it can be quite expensive. I didn't start a cheap or an easy nonprofit. I didn't start one that just you could have an office in your home and begin.
I mean, I am just amazed. I'm so impressed, so amazed. I just loved everything you shared. I'm really excited to start connecting people and, sharing about what you're doing. And I'm seeing that Johnny Walker has his hand up, and then Janet after.
Okay.
Tammy, this is all great. I love everything you're doing. I grew up, a lot of people don't know, I grew up in Ohio and Kentucky. Between the two, we had horses in Ohio and tobacco in Kentucky. So as a kid, I went back and forth wherever they needed me. Because back in those days down south, there was no child labor laws. But I guess my question is, I see one of the things that as a father, that I'm always trying to tell my kids, like when I grew up, when I was my youngest son's age, if I could pick up a shovel, I was moving manure and I was moving hay and I was helping, bring the horses in. By the time I was my oldest son's age, I had a 38 with snake shot in my pocket, on my holster, go riding the fence, getting rid of the rattlesnakes and making sure there's nothing in the, a couple rounds to make sure a coyote didn't get in. nothing to spook or hurt the horses, and so I guess my question is when the veterans and the first responders come, are they just like interacting with the horse and the, in the ring, or are they actually learning how to like, hey, this horse needs a clean stall and a clean place to live. It needs fresh hay. It needs to be brought in, brought out. It needs to be, while you bring it out, you clean out the stall, you change out the hay, you bring them back in, you give them feed, then you got to bring it back out again, like it's a process. And I guess that's one question. And the other question is, if they're not doing it, are you doing that all on your own? Like, how are you getting that done? Because I know a horse ranch, I know it's a lot of work. It's a whole lot of work. I mean, I got a job at a produce farm when I was 12, so I got paid and I could skip out on my chores on the ranch. And I guess that's the question for you.
No, those are great questions, and thank you. No, they learn everything. We have I think we have a little over 50 volunteers right now. And so they come Monday and then Wednesday through Saturday. And then we do have a veteran living on our property as well that helps on the days we're closed. But they do everything. They're mucking, they're watering, they're scrubbing out, the water bins, because the water bins can get really nasty, especially in the summer. They're doing all the horse care. Today, I have we had a Mare Motel donated. And so today they're taking apart panels and rebuilding stalls to move some stalls so that we can get that area ready. We're also going to be going over, for those of you in San Diego, I don't know if you've heard of this ranch, Corte Madera. It's out by Pine Valley. It's like the shiki-miki of all ranches out here. It's private. It's quite a few very wealthy families have vacation homes here. So it's super, super private. And they love veterans. So they're having us come out, and we're going to start teaching our veterans who are going through our program, whoever wants to, right? Because not everybody wants to. We're teaching them how to mend fences. They're going to be doing all kinds of work over there and here. But that's a whole other experience for them to be able to go over there.
That's beautiful. That's part of, I mean, a ranch and riding the fences is like one of the most important parts. Make sure that the fences are up, because you got to keep, other animals out and the horses in. Yeah. That's amazing. Can I send my kids so they can not be
spoiled? Sure, come on out.
Rats? Because I keep on joking with my wife, like I'm sending them back home with my cousins for a week or two so they can learn how to work.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna send them up.
We have 14 horses right now here, and then we're bringing 2 more, and we have 5 right now in Texas. And then the horses in Wyoming, we lease because we don't need to keep them all year. So we just lease horses for the season. They're also learning, on Christmas Eve. And unfortunately, I had to have surgery right before Christmas. And so I have been out, and then I got sick. So I haven't been able to do what I normally do with the horses, and it's killing me. But on Christmas Eve, one of the horses was colicking, but they caught it right when it was starting because he had been eating his hay in the morning, and volunteers got here at about 8:30, and they noticed there was something off. And so they all who was here had the opportunity to learn what we do when a horse colics, and get their heart rate, check their temperature, and then I have Banamine shots, and so teaching them where you give the Banamine shot, because you got to get it in the right place. And then walking the horse, and we just kept walking him, not letting him roll and lay down. And it's the funniest thing, because as soon as he pooped, everyone was like, yeah, he pooped, because that's what we're looking for, get him to poop. but they really learned then, because for the next 2 days, it's colic watch and really watching him. And so some of the volunteers would come out just to check on him, take him for a walk. And so we have them, they're hands-on everything here.
I love it. I'm gonna see what I can do any way that I can support you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I like what you're doing, and the horses deserve it, and the veterans and the first responders deserve it. So
Yes.
great story. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure to listen to everything you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Johnny. How about Janet?
Well, I want to move to San Diego and live next door. Or
Come
rather
on out.
pitch a tent.
We want you to.
I have to
Janet.
tell you that, yeah, well, who knows, it may happen. But one of the things that saved my teenage years, like we lived in a very small town. Our horses though, and I rode Western, we didn't have, like I'm 68 now, 68. We didn't have barns for our horses. We lived in a town of 500 people, farming community, ranchers. So we had that connection with our horses. And I think my daughter started riding at 9, and her instructor, they had to learn, if they wanted to ride, they had to do the mucking out. They had to do the grooming. They had to do the saddling. They didn't go to the barn and find a saddle horse and get a lesson. They had to learn it. She's one of the best braiders for the equine because she was taught, her teacher was from Britain. And our granddaughter started riding at 3. And she jumps in that, and now she's a massage therapist, equine massage therapist as well. Still works in a barn. She'll be 21 in May, but she says she's doing what she loves. She's riding beautiful horses and just being with them. But I think that's the only thing that saved her too, as well, from depression and stuff.
Wow.
So it's when you decide to have a program for veterans, spouses, and kids, let us know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny, look, yeah.
I actually have a picture. That's me.
Okay, Johnny,
look at
I'll
that.
have to send you one of my granddaughters.
This
Anyway.
is how you know I grew up with horses. No adult supervision on an English saddle when I was about 4 years old, and cowboy boots and a hat.
Oh my
Anyways,
God.
I love what you're doing, and we'll support wherever I can. And I want to talk to you soon if I can.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
Thank you.
fantastic. Oh, wow. How about Daniel?
Yeah, so for me, 2 quick questions. Reservists and guardsmen, do you guys support that for your mission?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all reservists. Yes, absolutely. Everyone. And my son, who's a cop, is also in the Army Reserves.
Okay, that was my first
So,
question.
yeah.
Second one is that, do you need television exposure?
Absolutely. All the time. Yes.
Okay, because I do a digital TV company called Legrity. That's the logo that's behind me. I have a couple people that might be able to on an interview. So
That would be awesome. Awesome. And you brought that up, and I forgot to tell everyone. Through Michael Geyer's documentary, we were connected to Jay Garstecki, who does Operation Outdoor Freedom, and it's on the Discovery Channel on Sunday mornings. Usually I need tissue when I watch it because it's just always just so heartwarming. And so we will be featured this Sunday. It's at 7:30 Eastern time, so 4:30 our time. So it's going to be DVR'd. I'm not getting up that early, but especially since I've been sick. And he's showcasing one of our veterans, Brandon, who's an EOD tech with multiple traumatic brain injuries and post-traumatic stress. And it follows his journey here at Saddles and Service. And he in the show, he teaches Jay how to ride. So he's basically Jay's wrangler. And we took a risk and said, okay, so are you ready to do cattle after an hour on the horse? And then we went over and he learned how to do cattle too. So it was a lot of fun, but we would love the exposure, Daniel. I appreciate that. And yes, however, please let's connect. That would be great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, amazing. Glenn.
Hey, I was there. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I've had audio problems, but hopefully this is working.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Hey, so thanks for the info. The question I had twofold. I did a 3-week PTSD program. Wounded Warrior did it with Rush Medical out in Chicago, and part of their program included equine, which was really cool. Actually, there's 2 questions. One is it possible for significant others to also come along? I don't know if it's the first time or if it's part of it. They had that, and I didn't unfortunately have the opportunity to have my fiance go along. So I wasn't sure if there's things like that where they can come along and sort of get a little exposure of some of the things that go on. So that's the first question. And the second question is, can you sort of maybe step through just like what a day would be when somebody shows up and, what it's like, you show up, you do this, et cetera, to get an idea?
Sure. And yes, it is open to the family members as well. And so what we do is the spouse or significant other can come out. They will have their own wrangler and horse. And so we do, because I don't like to put them together sometimes, because then you need your own experience and you need to be in the present and focus on you. And so sometimes, if it's both of you together with one horse, yeah. Oh, let me tell you. I
can imagine.
You're brushing them wrong. we have one.
Like, sometimes, especially, when
we
it's,
do, and
they like to
and
get
with the
exposure to it.
Yes, and with the children, what we do is I don't have an age limit, because I really believe it's based on the maturity of the child. I had an 11-year-old who his dad is a hot shot with the Laguna Hot Shots out here, the fire, and he dropped off his son every Saturday to volunteer. And normally, anyone under 18 has to be with their parent. But this kid was more mature than some of my, 20-year-olds that are out here. So he would come out. So I don't have an age limit on that. Children can partake in the program as well, but it's mainly grooming and mucking and doing everything, with the horses. But we're not having them ride right now because of insurance reasons, so it's really the adults. And so, but we do some riding with the kids when it's not program time. And then that way, we can give them some attention on that. So I forgot, what was your other question? I'm so sorry.
No, that's no problem. The other question was like, for
the typical day.
What goes through, like, what would be, first of all, is it just a day? Is it a weekend? And then, how does an individual show up, and then what happens?
Okay, sure. So the program is individually tailored to each individual person, because everyone has different experiences, different goals. And so a typical day is when they show up, they can help muck, water, they're going to groom their horse. They're going to go through, wherever they are in the program that day, I don't know, they're going to learn riding skills and all. So they always pick up wherever they left off that last week. But each week they come, it's always mucking, watering, grooming, getting the horse, making sure the horse has his attention on you. There's no time limit to our program in terms of length. For the day, it's usually 2 hours, give or take. But I have veterans and first responders that have been coming out here for 2 years. So they can come weekly, every other week. It really goes to their schedule. And then, so it's not a set time limit, like 3 weeks or anything. We we really expand it to go longer.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Tammy, what is mucking?
Oh, mucking is picking up the horse poop.
Oh.
You know.
Okay.
Thanks for asking. I was wondering that too.
Oh, sorry. So mucking is, yeah, you're mucking all the horse poop. You're putting it in the big wheelbarrow and dumping it wherever we have a poop pile going.
Awesome. Everything I
It's
know
very
about.
therapeutic. It's therapeutic, I'm going to tell you, because the horses are bugging you. They're all on you. And we have a big Clydesdale who was actually, he's from the Budweiser farm. I have all his paperwork. And when you're in mucking his stall, he is constantly in your business, and he puts his neck like this as close as he can to you, so you'll scratch his neck. You have this huge giraffe-like horse, and it's super cool, and you know, it's such a good feeling.
Oh, wow. That just sounds so amazing. Everything I know about horses is from that Netflix show Heartland. I
Oh yeah.
So that's my extent of horse understanding. But it's wonderful. It's amazing. It's lovely. It's beautiful what you're doing. I mean, just, you know, gosh, connecting animals and veterans and something as majestic as a horse is just phenomenal. I'm so inspired and excited by what you're doing. It's really cool. Gosh, does anybody? What's that?
Sorry, do you mind if I ask another question? I don't want to dominate here.
Oh, please do.
So like one of the things that was eye-opening for me was when we actually had a chance to ride the horse, and so that whole bonding thing had that experience. It was really, really interesting. And then getting out and just sort of being out, you know, away from everything with the horse and so forth. Does that take like a certain time or progression? Like you have to be, you know, around the horses for so many weeks, so many events? Just trying to, you know, understand. I'm not looking at this from a, you know, some kind of going out to a ride or something, but I mean, just the idea of how long does it take to actually have that experience out on a trail or something?
So a lot of times the very first visit that they do, they're on the horse bareback, because we do the grooming, we do the round pen work to gain respect, you know, both ways between the hero and the horse. And if they're ready, they're getting on bareback that very first day. And then we'll do a little more bareback riding than the following visit. And then usually it gets right into a saddle. And then it all depends on the skill of the person. I mean, some people, they're just ready to ride, and they have such a great seat and balance, and they can move faster. Some people move a little slower. So it just all depends on the person. I do have a police officer who comes out, and all she does is ride bareback at a walk, being led. And that's all she wants. And that's okay, you know, because that's what she needs. But yeah, we really assess each person and just move them along as fast or as slow as they can or want to go, with safety being key.
And Tammy, earlier when you and I were talking, you were talking about like that time span, like the third ride is when the brain caught up with the heart. And I'm wondering if the therapeutics, if you could share a little bit about that.
Sure. So we had research. We did a research project out here. We were part of research through National University. And so it was 8 weeks long. It was once a week. They measured the heart rate variability of the veteran and first responder, and then also had a PANIS questionnaire at the beginning and then at the end of the session. And so when all of the data came back and when we were all finished with this, what they found was that the first 3 visits with the horse, it's really a heart thing, right? Oh, you feel good. Everything's wonderful. You just feel better. And it's after that 3rd week that the brain starts catching up with the heart and you start noticing some changes. And so they say that, the longer you do this and spending time with a horse and that, the better it is for our brain and for post-traumatic stress. And it's a whole article in the International Journal of Health Sciences, the article, the research is all in there. So it's really interesting. Oh, you're muted, Sarah.
That might be a good thing. It's just amazing how it just encompasses everything, what you're doing. The therapeutic part, you're getting the data from how this equine relationship is actually truly impacting those with post-traumatic stress, more than just feeling good, but, obviously that's what they want to feel. But that's really interesting. So it's the first 3 visits, they have a sense of well-being, they feel good. And then after that 3rd visit is when the brain really starts healing. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so. It starts connecting to what the heart's feeling. And I'm not a scientist, but when I was reading the whole article, I was like, oh, wow, this is really cool. And so what they're saying is the I'm not sure where it is in here, but yes, you start seeing a significant difference, and it starts impacting the brain. And the longer you go, the more it will improve, and the well-being improves.
That's phenomenal.
Sorry, I'm sounding so gross with this cold. It's horrible.
Don't worry, Tammy. Like I said, in all our groups, like half the people have COVID. So you're in wonderful company here.
And well, thank you. We don't have psychotherapy. So that was the one thing we decided not to have any psychotherapy here. For us, we want the veteran and first responder to be, this to be as holistic and natural as it can be. So we do have a psychotherapist on our advisory board. It's First Alarm Wellness is who we work with. And so they are a resource. But a lot of our veterans and first responders, take what they've done with their horse and unpack it with their therapists. And I think that, that's, just having the horses as a resource and helping them in their therapy when they're with their therapist is very powerful too.
Gosh, I love that.
I have a question for you, Tammy, kind of along those lines, and thank you for everything you've shared. I've just been sitting back in awe, kind of mirror what Sarah said. But yeah, you had mentioned kind of doing the mind, body, soul piece, diving more into that and bringing that in. What is that looking like for you guys? And how are you going about doing that?
So right now, I'm not sure how we're going to go about it yet. So it was just something that came into my mind. I'm like, we have to give more. We have to do more for the heroes. And so that mind, body, soul part, I want to have the mindfulness meditation, because I even know myself, there are days I'm like, I have so much to do. And when I sit down to do something, I cannot be mindful and just be right there in what I need to focus on, right? And so I'm sure that's with other people too. And so having that mindfulness meditation and being able to stop and really, okay, let me get in this mindset here, and I need to be in the here and now, right now, and not be worrying about everything else that has to be done. And we wanted to incorporate yoga, and flexibility training, because a lot of our heroes if they get on the horse, they don't have balance. They don't have maybe that strength of core. They don't, maybe they're slightly overweight. And so we need to help them if they want to do the Wyoming program. And so helping them physically, offering some clinics and offering the yoga here. And then a nutritional piece, because there's so many healing foods out there. And so I just think that just a whole holistic approach, how we can bring this all in as resources, doing clinics for them, offering all of this for them. So I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but I feel God always puts the right people in our life at his time, and which is always the right time, but it's never fast enough for me, but that's okay. And so that's, something that we are working through right now.
And I love that. I'll connect with you offline, because one of my side projects right now, I'm working with a dear friend who, I have a yoga teacher background. So does she. She actually has an elk farm in Kansas. And so she's springing her studio off to do kind of a separate nonprofit too. And is, branching into, some of the different consulting and clinic type stuff as well. So yeah, I'll connect with you. And that's why when you brought that up, and she's got a horse background as well. And so, yeah, I'm sure she'd love to have some conversation.
Oh, yes. And we offer roping clinics too. We do a lot of roping on dummy cows. We have these little fake cows all over. But we've been doing all kinds of stuff. We're having so much fun.
That's so cool. Thanks for everything you're doing.
Katie, where are
you're
you again?
welcome. Thank you.
Where am I at, Sarah?
Yeah.
So I'm in Colorado.
You're in Colorado.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm kind of, and that's kind of what took some of my time the last couple of months, even, Sarah, is splitting between like work stuff and then working with Wild Unity as well, kind of getting that nonprofit, going. And so, yeah.
Good for you. That is great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm in the mountains of Arizona, so I know the feeling. And my friends in San Marcos, so I get to San Diego often. So I saw you're in Alpine, which is really cool. You did touch on something.
Come out and visit us.
Sure.
Come out and visit us.
Sounds like a plan. That's one of the reasons also why I jumped on. You touched on something. I heard about your husband. I spent my entire career in special operations on the Air Force side, and I have more metal in my body than I really expected. So I don't know. Like when I was on the horses, it was in the saddle, which gave a little bit more stability. I don't know how it would be, bareback for me. I just don't know. So that's what I was going to say. So if there is something like, if there is a balance issue just because of things, is that something where you would start straight on the saddle? If that's the case, I mean, are you able to accommodate based on the physical things with somebody if they have issues with the balance and so forth?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yes,
definitely. So that's great to hear. Yeah. Well, thanks. Like I said, I always try to beat up with Sarah when I'm in San Diego, and I've been zero in my successes so far, but looking forward to it. And
we'll get there.
Yeah. And honestly, just because, like I said, I was mentioning that other program that I was in, it was a lot of psychotherapy involved in it. It was a great program. It was really one of the best ones I've ever been to. But the nice thing about dealing with just the horse and that experience that particular day is, I got to say, is sometimes we're just so damn fatigued from all the psychotherapy. I mean, this was a very intense program. So that the day that we went out to do the equine, it was pretty much just focused on that, because the experience with the horse and the riding was the biggest part. And it wasn't getting into the psychotherapy of the individuals or the group, whatever. So it was almost like that was the escape, but it actually had great effects. And I think the other thing was, how many people show up, like, say, in a day? How many veterans or first responders, whatever, do you have in a particular day when they come out? Is it 2, 20? I have no idea.
Oh gosh, well, no, we can have up to 10 a day. And we serve anywhere from 30 to 50 a week. Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting for us because, like, after we were a locked group, but afterwards, in the beginning it was sort of like everybody was quiet, but at the end, we sort of talked things as a group, just, veteran to veteran, because it was mainly veteran. And that was the interesting part, was then everybody started opening up and saying, yeah, this was my experience or whatever. And that was really the cool part, because it was just us. It wasn't like there was a psychologist or a therapist there in case, but it was mainly focused just on the experience of the horse, and then basically our experience and our feedback, which was really cool. So I don't know if that's something you do or just a tidbit of information for you. It was pretty cool.
No, it's interesting because I see that all the time. I had one veteran who came out here, and he was a Marine veteran. And the first day he did the tour, because we'll take everyone, huh? Oh,
my Marine did. Sorry.
we take everyone on a tour, orientation and all. And during the visit or the tour, he looked at me, he goes, "I'm sorry, I have resting asshole face." And I go, "I'd never heard of that before." And I was like, "Okay." And he was super quiet and just like, and he goes, "I just don't like being around people I don't know. And this is overwhelming. There's a lot of people out here." And so I'm like, "Okay." He goes, but I'm really excited." I said, "All right." So he came the next week and started, and I swear, like, he walked up to me and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I could smell so much alcohol on him." Like he had been drinking for days. And maybe it was just that night or the night before. I don't know, but it was where I almost gagged. And then the next week again. And then after that, never smelled alcohol on him again. You could never get him to shut up. He was always laughing, joking with everyone. And even days that we couldn't ride because of rain or high winds, he would still come out and just sit out there with his horse for, 10, 15 minutes. And a totally different person. He ended up getting engaged. He got a job up in Montana with the Forest Service. And so, it's just been really, really cool. But, we see these, some of our, and our active duty women, a lot of them are super, super closed off when they start. And then, you just see them open up, and because they realize it's a safe place here. We're all family, we're all friends, we're all have a love of horses, and it's ridiculous how funny and how much fun we have out here, but yet you have that camaraderie. We have Vietnam veterans out here, and so that peer support, I think, is super important.
Agreed.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Wow.
What's the best way to contact you, or can we just call you and then
email? Yeah, or my email is perfect. And
put it on there. That's yeah.
The chat. Should I do it on the chat?
Yeah, but do it on the chat. saddlesinservice.org, right?
Yes.
Okay, for even those that are listening, when they listen to the YouTube,
So that's my email.
And that's saddlesinservice.org.
Saddlesinservice.org. And so that's my email. And feel free to email me. And this is my phone number.
And if we have veterans or first responders we want to recommend, we just send them to your site then, Tammy, or how do you?
Yes. Okay. Yes. And they can just, it's a real simple form they fill out with their name, I think email, phone number, and they'll click what their branch of service is, or, if they're a spouse or a dependent, and that.
Okay. Awesome.
That's amazing. Wow. Does anybody have any last comments?
I promise I'm quiet.
You ask great questions. Yeah. Tony.
Yeah. So, I'm very quiet. Wait till the very end. So save the best for last, right?
Yes.
So it's good to meet you finally. I feel like I've been connected sort of with you for almost 2.5 years now, and have never really got to get this connection going. I hold your old job, so I believe we have some mutual pain points together.
My old job? Mine?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
I
what
work
job?
at APU.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And then-
wow.
yeah, and then I'm also involved with the RWB group. I'm with the leadership team up here in Inland Empire, and so every time I hear about the RWB guys going down and just having an amazing day, I've always got like other things going on, and I can never make it. So again, like I said, this has kind of been like yes, I've known Tammy for like 2.5 years, and this is the first time we've ever like actually seen face to face.
Well, nice to meet you face to face.
Yeah, of course. I also see, because I've been obsessed with the website now for the past hour or so, and I'm gonna hopefully make it down there for the golf tournament as well.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, because we did a golf tournament, myself and Sarah, we did the golf tournament piece down in San Diego last year. So just amazing times, love doing those, and just, you know, now kind of want to be on the player side of it versus the running it.
Yeah, come on out and play.
Yeah, so much
come
more
on out.
fun to actually swing the club.
I won't tell you that he did such a great job at coordinating that, or else you may want him. So
Ah,
the secret's out, Tony. Yeah, he did a great job. That was really fun. Oh,
So
wonderful.
my question, to finish off with my question
Yes.
then, is because I end up, like I said, knowing you for like 2.5 years, and this is the first time we've ever met face to face. Obviously, my life is erratically like spread 17 sheets to the wind, right? With that being said, if it were like that one day coming down, because I hear a lot of the amazing growth and the amazing sort of, the pathway that somebody comes down and does things consistently.
Yeah.
But what could I expect, or what does that look like if I'm only able to come down for one day or one session kind of thing?
Well, you just connect with me and we'll make sure that, because I know you're coming from quite a distance too. And I do, we'll tailor it. Maybe you come out for 5 hours, you come out for the whole day, and we'll just, see how far you can progress in that time, because obviously safety, right?
Yeah.
And but yeah, no, we'll make it worth your while. I have a guy who is I'm having brain fog right now. Goodness, I don't know. He's there in LA though. With the Marshal Service. He's a US Marshal. And so not only that, him and his wife and children were at the shooting in Vegas when they had the country concert. So they reached out to me as a family, and because of the nature of what he does, and his is all undercover, I have them come out on Sundays, and they'll come out as a whole family when we're closed. And myself and a couple wranglers will, I ask people to come out and just volunteer on those days too. And so they're here for the whole day, and we do a little barbecue for lunch and all for them, because they come from, pretty far as well. And so they'll come a few times a year, and I try and accommodate, how I can, for people that come out for a long distance. So
wow.
yeah, I'll definitely take care of you. Don't worry.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love what you do, Tammy. You're amazing. You are really amazing. So
Thank you.
innovative. And so, just your heart to do whatever it takes to take care of our protectors is just so admirable. I'm
Well,
excited.
it's a God thing.
Oh,
I have to tell you, it's a God thing. He really placed this on me and continues to place the right people. But like I said, it's always at his time and not mine.
Yeah.
And I try and have come to Jesus talks with God, but I always lose. So, I just stop. I say, okay,
Push them a little
it'll all work
faster.
out. It'll all work out. And for those of you in San Diego who know who Amy Scruggs is, she sings the national anthem and stuff at Petco Park, and she just recorded an album in Nashville. I actually went to high school with her brother. She's younger than me. She's my brother's age. And so her and my brother went to high school, and she has been the one who got us with Michael Geyer. And she's also now on my board of directors. And so she's really doing a lot to help us in the national media for awareness. Because we're working our butts off out here, I tell you, for no pay, but I get to see all the joy. And when I have a gentleman my age with his son, that's the same age as my son, come out to the ranch with his son and tell us, thank you for giving me my son back. Like, that's worth more to me than anything else.
Oh gosh, that's amazing.
Oh,
That is amazing.
We love it. How can, I have the best job in the world. I get to play with horses. And when I'm stressed out, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go outside and go give my horse a carrot. I can just go right out there with them. So I feel so blessed and fortunate that that's what I get to do.
Oh gosh, that's great. Well, I wish you much success, whatever that looks like. You're already incredibly successful, but and you have the best leader. So I'm really happy to hear that. You just know it's going to go in a great direction. And I definitely want to keep connected with you too, because you never know how we can collaborate.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you know of any foundations that do the like recreational type therapy for veterans, could you pass that along to me? Because I have one of the APU students is working on his dissertation. And so he asked me, I'm doing something with his dissertation, and he's asked if I know of any other places that have do recreational therapy that he can get the information for.
Okay. What exactly is recreational therapy? Like I'm sure horses are, right? I mean, that would be.
Yes.
Okay.
So any type of, I think there's like music therapy, there's surfing, like they have surf clubs. That
kayaking up in Northern California.
Yeah, kayaking.
A lot of different stuff.
Any type of
activity.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've seen that. I've gone to the beach and seen the surfing, therapy surfing for veterans. That was so cool to watch. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll keep my ear out and I'll go back and look for what that was, which group that was.
Okay.
So
yeah. So, so if anyone has any that you know of, please email me or send them my way so I can share them with Chris while he's working on his dissertation. So,
okay.
Tammy, this is Billy Walsh. That's one more wave is a really good surf therapy group. I'll send you an email separately, but I wanted to hop on and say thank you and for coming. It's been awesome listening to you, and I'm going to send you an email in about 20 minutes.
Oh,
okay. Sounds perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy. That was the one. One more wave. Oh, that's
interesting for me. Cause like I said, I'm in San Diego often cause that's where my fiance is. And I just by chance find out about a lot of these programs. Like I said, I'm in Prescott, Arizona. So I'm up in the mountains and it's beautiful here,
Prescott.
but it's not much, there's not much that I'm really connected in here. So when I go to San Diego, I always see all these things. So just in what you've mentioned already are, some things that I'd be interested in. Just didn't know that the resource. Yeah, I knew there's a lot of resources, just didn't know what they were. And so, I appreciate it.
Yeah. And that's why, we really like to have people share about them because there's like over 40,000 nonprofits for veterans. And especially if a veteran is overwhelmed, how are they supposed to vet? How are they supposed to find out those nonprofits that could be really helpful. So when we have, people like you on, Tammy, really sharing about what you do and your experiences, and then we have other veterans and first responders sharing, this really helped me. It's amazing. It is.
Yeah,
amazing.
you gave me a lot of feedback from your audience, Sarah, when I was on it. So yeah, I mean, you learn a lot in your resources here. So again, thanks, Tammy. I have to jump, but again, thanks a lot for the time.
Thank
It's good to see
you. No,
guys.
thank you.
Good seeing you, Glenn. And Tammy, any last thoughts?
No, I think no.
Okay, I think we covered great territory today. So Tammy, thank you. I'm going to turn off the recording now.